On by invitation, we're talking to Ms. Lim Kit Wan, or better known as Kit to us, NLP Master Trainer and also Country Director of Kueek International. And we're talking about motivating people. A question from Alex right now.
All right, there's a difference between motivation and correction.
All right.
How do you correct people in a good manner?
Okay, I think when Alex talks about correcting, I think he means criticizing, but that doesn't have to be seen in a negative light, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, most of us do tend to take corrections and criticism negatively,
Right.
because we think that you're picking on us and, we're doing our best. So what you have to do is look at what is it that you're correcting. Is it something you're doing often, or is it just a one-time thing?
Right.
Are they doing something really wrong?
Right.
Are you correcting, or should you just give them some guidance?
Right.
Ask them first, are you doing this? Is this the best way of doing something?
Right.
Could you do it a different way?
We learned this in scuba diving as an instructor when I was doing it. It is very similar to what we call positive reinforcement. If somebody is finning the wrong way, like the style or the method of doing it,
Right.
we don't say, hey, you cannot fin like that, it's wrong. It demotivates the person to want to learn and think that, oh, it's so difficult to learn scuba diving. So we would tell them all the good things that they've done right, and then said, if I were you, if I want to go faster, this is how I would fin.
Right.
So they will realize it themselves. Okay, maybe I should try what he suggested.
Right.
So that's what we normally do.
So you sandwich the correction in between a lot of praises.
Yes.
Right.
And then you just say, if I was you, then it becomes this, you're not doing it wrong, but I would do it this way.
Right.
But instead of saying, okay, I want you to do it this way, which sounds really difficult to motivate after that, just say, I would do it this way, or I've seen other people doing it this way. Have you tried it?
Right. Okay.
And that would it becomes a suggestion, and then it makes them think, maybe I have other options.
But I like when you say sandwich it in a couple of compliments. So, like, say, for example, somebody comes to Alex with their work or something like that, Alex must first of all say, hey, good job, thank you very much.
Point out the right stuff.
Point out all the good stuff.
Right, okay.
You're doing this very well. In fact, you're doing it faster than most of your
came
colleagues.
early, that sort of thing.
Exactly. I noticed that you come in early, put in a lot of effort.
Doing it this way.
I just noticed that this little thing is not quite working.
Right.
Have you tried doing it a different way?
Yeah.
Or, if I was doing this,
I would do it this way.
I would do this other way.
And I have to say, some bosses, when we're talking about correction here, but some bosses like to correct their staff a lot.
Yeah, those are micromanaging.
All right, okay. As if, almost like they don't trust their staff to do the job.
Yeah.
Right.
That's when they feel that the staff cannot do it. And bosses have this thing about, if I was doing it, I can do it better, faster, and it'd be finished by now.
And a lot of times, sometimes you speak to business people, they say, and then you ask them, why are you still so stressed out? You got employees. And then they'll tell you, oh, I tell you, I have to do it back myself because they all don't know how to do it. And they bring it upon themselves to do triple or 4 times the amount.
Right.
They don't know how to designate. They don't trust.
They don't trust their people.
Stuff.
So try and sandwich the correction or the criticism in with some compliments and.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay.
I mean, that's what we teach leaders when we do training for leaders. That's what we teach them, how you can actually motivate your staff and give them the right kind of guidance.
Oh, good stuff.
Okay, on by invitation. Talking to Kit here, NLP Master Trainer and also Country Director of Kueek International. Any questions, once again, with regards to motivating people? Call us 0395433333. On by invitation, talking to Kit, NLP Master Trainer and also Country Director of Kueek International.
Yeah, okay. So, Kit, we are having an interesting discussion off air because KK called up and we were talking about work earlier and bosses and things like that. And KK said, if your boss is a perfectionist, there's no way you could ever make your boss your staff could ever make your boss happy. Which got us talking about how much does being a perfectionist affect motivating yourself or motivating others?
Well, it's true. If you're a perfectionist yourself, you could give up earlier because you think, well, I'm never going to be the Wimbledon champion.
Right.
So why bother playing tennis at all?
Right, yeah. That's a terrible way of looking at it.
That is a terrible way, but people do that. They start learning something and they expect to be mastering it within a month.
I'm sort of like that as well, and if I don't master it, I give up.
You give up quite easily.
It's bad, yeah.
The reason is, you're not what's your motivation for learning that one thing first? Just because.
Yeah.
See, just because is not strong enough.
Right.
Earlier on we were talking about away from pain or toward pleasure.
Right.
You have to find something that's going to motivate you. Are you moving away from something? I need to learn this because otherwise I cannot communicate with my in-laws, let's say.
Right.
Then you have to learn a language.
Right.
Or, it's towards pleasure because if I learn something, then I'll be able to enjoy it more with my friends.
Right.
Then we have something that will make us want to learn it. But we learn it just because.
Right.
chances are we'll give up quite easily. And it doesn't matter whether we master it or we're quite good at it, we're probably going to give up anyway.
Okay, so let me just put it all out there. I wanted to learn Mandarin for the longest time. I got a tutor in. We had 2 sessions. After that, I quit because I just thought, oh my goodness me, it's so difficult, the inflections and everything like that. Could it also possibly be that I might not have had the right tutor for me?
Yeah.
This would be the right tutor. Your
that.
tutor didn't know how to motivate you, didn't know how to give you reasons for learning it.
Right.
Didn't know how to support you.
Right.
Can a tutor also be a perfectionist to the point that you get so fed up? Because when, let's say, you pronounce certain words, it may not be all that perfect, but that tutor is such a perfectionist that you have to say it the way I think it should sound, and then after, numerous attempts, you just give up.
You just give up, yeah.
Otherwise, if you give it to another tutor who says, okay, you're getting there, slowly work on it, and a little bit more forgiving.
Right. Yeah. That
is probably a difference.
That might have helped me a little bit more as well. Yeah, definitely.
Well, see, the thing is, when we talk about learning, we understand that people learn in different ways. Some people are visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. So if somebody is auditory, you need to learn auditorily.
Okay.
Which means you have to hear it, you have to listen.
How do you know what you are, though? Like, how do you know?
We have tests to understand. So if you're a visual learner and your teacher is auditory, you're not really communicating the same lingo because they will teach you in the way that they prefer to teach.
Right.
But that's not the way you prefer to learn.
That's
I mean, we do this in schools. If you think about it, when we're in school, the teacher teaches the way the teacher's going to teach.
Right.
And they've been doing this for years.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Let's assume the teacher is auditory. So an auditory teacher stands up in front of the class and just talks and talks and talks. Right, because that's their preferred mode. They like to talk and they like to listen.
Right.
Now, a visual learner, which is about at least 30% of the population, they like to see pictures. They like visuals. They like charts. So a child who's a visual learner, a visual learner needs to see things on the blackboard or slides or
it's
books
like a photographic memory, and then they remember it.
They remember images. So a teacher is just going to keep talking, isn't going to be able to connect with that student,
right?
Because they're not on the same wavelength. You see, a kinesthetic learning will need to take notes, will need to do things with their hands.
Yeah. That would definitely affect motivation then. Yeah.
It would, because then they're thinking, how come I'm so blurred? My friends all seem to get it, I don't.
Yeah.
And it's nothing to do with them, it's because they are learning in a different mode.
Wow, okay, that's
when
like
you say,
new
how
information.
come I'm so blur and all that, has that to do with also leading on to low self-esteem as well?
It could affect their self-esteem.
As well.
Yes. Because then they're starting to think that they're not good. And
ways.
actually it's not because they're not good, it's because the teacher didn't understand how they learn.
Okay.
I'm in love with my voice.
You are in love with your voice, Richard.
On my invitation, talking to Kit this morning, that's what we call her, Miss Lim Kit Wan, NLP Master Trainer, also Country Director of Billy Kueek International. So if you have a question for her, give us a call 0395433333, or you can put it on Facebook, your question, fb.litefm.com.my on the Lite Breakfast. On by invitation, we're talking to Miss Lim Kit Wan, or better known as Kit to us, NLP Master Trainer and also Country Director of Billy Kueek International, talking about motivating people.
Yes, and we've got a couple of questions on Facebook now, Kit. Let's just go for a quick round robin. So Adnil Rosa goes, what's the difference between being motivated and being activated by pain or pleasure? And then he goes on to say, some people do get or being motivated by something, but those who did something like Richard, like having to change a light bulb, when the wife activates him to do it with pain, example, nagging, can people do things by motivation or by activation?
Both of them will work. Because it depends on what you want to do. In Richard's case, he loves the wife, but he doesn't want the wife to nag.
Yeah.
So,
but he's not motivated.
Activation is still motivating him.
He's not motivated to change the light bulb, though.
The love is not enough to motivate him.
Busted.
So the nagging is the part that's going to motivate him, because it's away from the nagging. He's trying to get away from the nagging. So, okay, there's pain coming. I better do something.
That's when he snaps.
When the wife says, darling, can you change the light bulb? He's like, I love you, but not enough to change the light bulb.
Right.
Got the other bulbs working.
Terrible, I tell you.
Typical guy. Yeah, the other bulb's working. When the room is perfectly dark, then we'll do something.
Exactly. All right, well, Christine asks, how do you keep yourself motivated continuously when your surroundings, like society, keeps on pulling you down?
Look for small wins.
Okay.
Do things step by step. You're not going to be able to overcome everything overnight.
Right.
Do little things to give yourself little small wins that will motivate you and say, okay, I could do that. What next?
Right.
What next? Keep
Small
looking for the
wins.
next thing. Small wins.
I like that.
This is my friend's, lessons in life that I learned from. Start with small baby steps.
Yeah, little baby steps. I always told Richard that. Everyone thinks that, you want to go to the gym or you want to diet. The first thing you got to lose is like 10 kilos. No, you lose half a kilo. That's a good thing.
Be happy with it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Little
if you try to lose 10 kilos, when you don't hit the 10 kilos, after 2 months, you're like, give up. Right? Because you hit 3, then you give up.
Yeah.
But if you set yourself a target of, okay, within the next week, I'm going to lose half a kilo.
But I also learned something this morning. I'm allergic to exercise.
It's realistic.
You are allergic to exercise. Sorry.
You too as well. Join the club. Join the club.
Misal goes, as Christine said, I'm leaving for KL for work soon for a new job, but everyone here is giving negative thoughts as if they're waiting for me to fail. How do I keep myself motivated to go on?
Don't let other people's sense of reality become your reality.
Right.
They expect you to fail. What makes you think that you will fail?
I have often thought to myself that if a person is negative, then maybe you should not tell them these, these big plans that you have a lot of passion for, because a lot of people's
they will knock you down.
Yeah, a lot of people.
If you know, I mean, I make it a practice now to avoid people who I find to be negative.
Right.
Because I don't want their negative energy to affect me.
Right. Okay.
So I try to avoid them. Of course, unless they come to me for coaching, and then I have to help them.
Right.
And I will help them. But in general, I find that, yes, there will be negative people out there. Some people just enjoy knocking you down no matter what.
Right. Okay.
So if these people are your so-called friends, maybe it's best to change your friends for the time being.
Right.
Because you don't need that. You don't need to be reminded that you're going to fail.
Right.
Or be told that you're going to fail when you've even started.
Yeah.
Okay, what if a friend is also, let's say you're going to start something and the person has already done it, like been there, done that before, and that person is explaining to you, okay, look, I don't think you should do that because it's not going to work. Mm-hmm. So do you take that as negative because he's done it before? Let's say I want to do scuba diving and somebody says, hey, why scuba diving business doesn't make money, and all the negative things that come in line. So should I even think of starting it? Because I'm so afraid that I'll fail because this guy has failed.
My question to you would be, are you looking to do it purely for money, or is there more to it than that? You may have your own reasons for doing it. See, I was in the food business before, and because I consider myself to be a fairly good cook, and my food business didn't work. When people come and ask me about giving them advice for their food business, I don't tell them not to do it because it is, they could have be the next best thing, right? They could have the next global franchise for all we know.
Right.
So I give them advice based on, okay, this is my experience. Learn what you can from it. Take what you want, and go and do your own thing.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we know you're a good cook, you know what's coming next.
Okay, no, don't talk about food now. Kids, not a good idea. Okay, Rafida asks, morning, how do we motivate ourselves and at the same time live up to other people's expectations? That's a good question.
I think that's the problem with a lot of us these days, is we're always trying to live up to other people's expectations. Yeah. The only person's expectations I believe you need to live up to is yourself. Your own. Set your own goals, set your own targets.
But what if the other people's expectations happens to be your parents?
My daddy want me to be a doctor.
Because,
I want to be a nurse.
You don't want to upset your...
You can ask Tony Fernandez. His parents wanted him to be a doctor.
Right.
And he didn't.
Okay, that's interesting. And
follow your heart, follow your passion.
And look at where he is.
Because you cannot be motivated. I mean, there's only so much your parents can do to motivate you.
Right.
They are not you.
Okay. Good stuff. Okay, we got one more question. Here we go. How to motivate my kids by accepting the reality that I need to work miles away from them for their future, and they must learn to themselves be independent. That's a tough one.
Tell them that you trust them. Give them the right guidance. Tell them that you trust them to make the right decisions. Be there to support them when they've made decisions, and whether it goes right or wrong. The problem is a lot of times when they go wrong, we stand there and telling them off, you see, you shouldn't have done it that way and all this. No, be there to support them. If they made the wrong decision, things don't work, be there to support them and say, okay, that didn't work, what can we do next? Right. So even though you're remote, you can still do a lot of this. And nowadays, how remote is remote? Right. With the internet and everything else. You're not going to be physically there. Yeah, but I mean, to actually tell children that, okay, mommy's going to be away for quite a while, but the reason why I'm away is because it's going to be better for our future when we get older, so you can go to the schools. So parents really need to sit down and explain to children. You need to explain that. These things, right? And make them understand in their language. Yes. Yeah. And really, when you do have time to be with them, then make sure you do spend we call it quality time, yes. But you see, the other thing you notice is that, parents would spend quality time out of guilt. Right, yes. And it shouldn't be a guilt-driven thing. Right, yeah. It should be because you want to and because you miss them, not because you feel bad that you were not there for the rest of the week. Let Richard tell you, he goes out to the park to play football with his daughter. He kicks the ball very far. She runs away. He stands there, and then she brings it back, kicks the ball back again. I'm like, what kind of playtime is that, Richard? It's not exercising the dog, throw
All right.
I tell you.
So time flies, I see. Huh? One more question. If you've got a question for Kit, well, on by invitation, we're talking to Kit, NLP Master Trainer and also Country Director of Billy Kueek International. Give us a call now, 0395433333. Here, also, we can put it on Facebook if you want to, fb.litefm.com.my on the Lite Breakfast. On by invitation, talking to Kit, NLP Master Trainer and also Country Director of Billy Kueek International.
Yep, we are talking about motivating people this morning, and we've only just barely scratched the surface with this, Kit. But what I wanted to leave everybody with was what you were telling us off air, this thing called anchoring. Tell us about that.
Well, anchoring is an NLP technique that we teach that basically is to create a stimulus response. Now, I was saying earlier, is there a specific smell that you can smell, like, some grandpa being cooked in the kitchen that reminds you of, being at grandma's house years ago? Yeah. That's an anchor that triggers that feeling of nostalgia
and
for you.
And a good memory,
And a good memory. Or, like for a lot of girls, they hear a particular song and it reminds them of, that was my first dance. And that's an auditory anchor. Yeah. So what we do in NLP is we can create anchors for our students.
All these feel-good memories.
We teach them how to create feel-good times. So, remember times when you were happy, you were confident, when you were energetic, when you were motivated, when you were having fun, when you were almost falling down laughing because you were having so much fun. These are all very positive responses to have. And we create anchors which, when they need it, so let's say after that I'm feeling a bit challenged because boss just scolded me.
Right.
And I'm feeling a bit negative, but I need to feel good because I've got a lot of work to finish. I can fire off that anchor. I can set it off. It's what I call a happy switch. So we give you a little switch that you can just switch on and off as and when you want.
Right.
And the amazing thing about the human mind, the unconscious mind, is it knows exactly which emotion you want, which state you want.
Right.
So if you're feeling sad, it will create that because all the switches are in one place.
Right.
So it's not like you have a bank of switches that you have to remember which switch is for what. You just need that one switch, which if you switch it on at the right moment, it brings on the right emotion that you need. And that is the beauty of your mind. It is so powerful.
Is this tried and tested? It works.
It works all the time.
So if I'm, let's say, driving and you know how stressful it is. Get into this
a bad mood.
Fit, and you want to feel good again before you start shouting. So you
just
have an anchor.
You just fire off the anchor that was there previously.
Switch. Right.
And then, of course, the other thing is it's like a prepaid account. You need to top up. So at any time you feel good, you must top up your positive account.
I like this happy switch. That's a good idea.
It's a wonderful thing.
That is a good idea, and it's a wonderful thing that you've been on the show. Kit, thank you very much. We've run out of time, and we haven't even scratched the surface, but I have to say, I'm sure we will have you back on the show sometime soon.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, for sure. Okay, so thank you very much, Kit. Once again, Kit in the studio with us, NLP Master Trainer and Country Director of Billy Kueek